Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
What? I'm kidding. Look, keep up the good work.
Because I am going on vacation.
This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours.
The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
We have a job to do, and you're coming with us.
I love superheroes, man. They're amazing. Also, you guys see My Hero Academia? Derek! Alright, let's just go ahead and introduce the show. Please welcome Puppet as your host today. Alright.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Puppet Review Stuff. Now, if this is your very first time checking out my channel, if you didn't know, I do DVD reviews, movie reviews, cartoon discussions, and reactions. And if all that stuffy goodness sounds good to you, then check out my channel, Puppet Review Stuff. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and begin the review. So, Spider-Man Far From Home has finally released. It's time to see what happens in the universe after Endgame. And oh boy, there's a whole bunch of stuff happened. This movie is amazing. No, not Amazing Spider-Man. Oh God, no. Like, Amazing Spider-Man is just like, ugh, I don't even know what they were doing. But, you know, Spider-Man has gone through, of course, a lot of iterations. You know, we got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland. And Tom Holland, in my opinion, is the best Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. And it's just, I love these movies. I love what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done. I'm so happy he's, you know, a part of Marvel now and not just with Sony, even though he's technically still with Sony. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming. That was a great Spider-Man film. But of course, Into the Spider-Verse, oh boy, nothing can beat that movie. That was the best Spider-Man movie ever. Like, I still recommend this movie. Like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you have not seen it, what is wrong with you? Go see that movie. It might be animated, but who cares? It's an amazing film. I'm speechless about that film. Like, I love it so much. And, you know, yeah. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. Roll.
You're right, we may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Oh my God.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
Are you going to step up or not?
So if you don't really know what this movie is about, it's basically Spider-Man goes to Europe with all his friends. And, you know, things don't really go his way when Nick Fury asks him to help him defeat all these monsters with the elementals. And of course he meets Mysterio. So, will everything go according to plan to Spider-Man's trip? Who knows? Why am I talking like this? Anyways, let's just, you know, review the movies. Okay.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh boy, what a movie. What a fantastic movie. Sure, it's not as good as Homecoming, or especially not as good as Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think anything could beat that. But this movie was fantastic. I loved the heck out of it, and I would go see it again. I loved everything about it. And then just like, you know, the change of scenery going to Europe, you know, the after effects of Endgame, and, you know, the snap, or what they call it, the blurp, the bloop. Basically, because obviously no one's gonna know it was a snap that killed everyone. I feel like if everyone knew a snap killed them all, I feel like they feel kind of sad about that a snap killed everyone. But you know, it's called the bloop, and I love how they play on that, and they actually touch on, you know, what happened within those 5 years, like the age differences. So basically, anyone that came back is the same age that they were when they were snapped, and people, you know, carried on their lives, basically. People that weren't snapped, you know, they grew up and stuff, and I like how they, you know, explained all that. That was cool. I like that. And just, they do it in such a funny way. And even though it was like a really disappointing and sad thing that happened in Infinity War, they just play it off like a joke in this movie. And this movie is a comedy. It feels like an Ant-Man movie. It's kind of weird. Spider-Man, Ant-Man, I mean, it makes sense. They're the bug superheroes. But still, like, I wouldn't say this movie is as funny as Homecoming. I don't laugh out loud as much in this one. I feel like a lot of the jokes did not land for me. And just, yeah, I mean, that's not saying it's terrible. Like, there's a lot of good jokes in this one, but I don't say it's not as laugh out loud. Honestly, Avengers Endgame was funnier than this, and that's kind of sad to say. Endgame was, like, a disappointingly sad, not disappointing, like, in a bad way, it's just, like, a sad movie. And this is like a happy-go-lucky. And making fun of everything that has happened in Endgame. Like, yeah, they make fun of everything. All the deaths. Honestly, it's not spoiler. Tony Stark's death. They deal with that. They deal with that really, well, I wouldn't say that really well. They just make a joke out of it, basically. Tony Stark, all the Avengers that died. And I just love when the movie opens up. I'm not going to spoil it at all, but they do something really funny. And something that, you know, high school students would do if they're trying to make, like, a video of, like, honoring like the dead, basically. And as I said, I think Tom Holland is probably the best Spider-Man out of all of them, and he's really relatable in some cases, I guess, but he's a really cool guy. I really like watching him on screen, you know, he's a really good Spider-Man. I really like him. It's kind of funny how every single character in Spider-Man's, like, friend group got snapped. Just so, you know, everyone will be the same age. I mean, yeah, I guess that in a storytelling, you know, standard, that would make sense, you know, for movies. But, you know, it's kind of, are you serious? They could at least had one of Spider-Man's friends be a little bit older. I mean, I feel like that wouldn't be much of a problem. It'd be cool. I mean, we do have one character that goes on the trip. I forget his name, but you know, he was like a really young boy, and then he grew up to be this muscular dude, which is kind of funny. And also, it makes a love triangle with him as well, with MJ and all that jazz. And you know, he's more of a bully than Flash. And Flash in this movie, he's a douchebag, but also he's more like a punching bag in this film the entire time. Hey, Marco Polo. Oh, he's just getting beat up and just like. You kind of feel bad for the guy. He's just like a mediocre bully, just like a sad sap, honestly. And it's just like he like the other guy was more of a bully than Flash. Flash is just pathetic at this point. And Ned has a little bit of a romance with this girl. I forget her name, but she's that blonde chick that was in the first movie. She's like the reporter, not reporter. I wouldn't say. I would say she's like the announcer girl. That's with that black dude, basically, and the black dude's trying to hit on her. Basically, that person. They get into a fun little relationship. It's in the trailer. It's not spoilers. It's in the trailer. You can obviously tell that. It was really funny. I actually enjoyed that relationship. So we can't just not talk about Mysterio. Now, okay, this is kind of a hard thing to talk about with Mysterio. Because, you know, I don't really know on the boundary lines of spoilers for Mysterio. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna talk about Mysterio, but, I guess maybe spoilers, but if you know Mysterio and the comics, you know that he's a villain, and, like, yeah, like, I know, like, for regular moviegoers, they probably would not know that Mysterio is the villain of this movie, but comic book people that watch the Spider-Man TV shows, you know, they know who Mysterio is. You know, I mean, I learned where Mysterio was from a game called Disney Infinity. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It was one of my favorite, you know, video games, and I loved collecting all the characters, and Mysterio was, like, one of the villains of the Spider-Man playset. So that's kind of where I learned who he was. And he did illusions and all that jazz, but I learned more through, like, the TV shows. But still, like, I don't know if it's the spoilers or not, but honestly, I kind of just spoiled it for you. But yeah, Mysterio is the villain of this movie, and I do kind of like what they were doing with Mysterio. It's completely different. It almost has the same backstory, but I love how they tie it into the Marvel Universe with a little bit of a twist. I like that. I really like what they did with Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal, or Jake Gyllenhaal or something. I like his performance as Mysterio. I love it how they have a bond with Peter and him have like a little bond together, and I like that. He kind of acts like the next role model in Peter's life, you know, because Stark's dead and Peter's still dealing with that, and people are pressuring him to become the next Iron Man, the next lead of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everyone, I don't know why, but everyone's just, you know, like, forcing this kid to be the next leader of the Avengers, basically. And he's like 15, 16, whatever the heck. Oh, technically Tom Holland's like 21 or 22, but still in the movie he's like 15, 16. Like, I don't know, that's a lot of responsibility. And yeah, and I like how he's like mentioning, like, why is there anyone else that can do this? Like, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Thor? Like, they're all gone. They're all busy. And I love how they acknowledge that, because, you know, most of these disaster movies, like in Iron Man 3, where the president was almost killed, honestly, you would think the Avengers would get on this crap. You know, you would think someone would come to the rescue. Or when S.H.I.E.L.D. was being hijacked, you would think, you know, Nick Fury would call in Iron Man to deal with some of this stuff. But no. And I love how they acknowledge that, you know, all these heroes have different agendas, and different things are happening in their lives. So, yeah, that's cool. But Mysterio, they did a lot with Mysterio. They did so many things. Scenes from the cartoon and the comics that I adored. I loved the Mysterio, like, illusion scenes. Those were fantastic. I loved it. I was hoping they would do it, and they did it, and I loved how they did it. It was great. It was really, really great. And also, we got to talk about Nick Fury. Now, Nick Fury in this movie, I like Nick Fury, but he seems more of an asshole than he usually is. And there are reasons why. Nick Fury, like, pay attention to Nick Fury, I'm just saying. He's gonna be a lot different in this movie. He's gonna act a lot different, and it does make sense at the very end of the movie why he acts this way. And we might go, after this video is done on the review, I might go into spoilers on this movie, because there are a lot of spoilers and a lot of things to be kept under wraps in this movie. I'm really proud of Sony for not spoiling it, because, you know, I remember from the last movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, they spoiled basically the end of the movie where Spider-Man gets his, like, old suit and Iron Man takes it. They basically showed the 3-act structure of that film, basically, and that kind of annoyed me. Like, why would you show all that? Well, there was no reason to show all this. And yeah, Nick Fury, he was funny. He had a lot of good lines. I love Samuel Jackson, you know. But yeah, just just listen to those sudden hints that Nick Fury gives off. It'll make sense why at the very end. Loved, Peter Parker and MJ's romantic relationship. I really liked that. It was really cute, and, we don't get a lot of relationships in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you think about it, we don't get a lot of it. Like Pepper Potts and Iron Man. That's like the only relationship that lasted throughout. No one else has had a relationship that was strong enough to just withstand the entire cinematic universe. Either like Thor and Jane, they broke up. Yeah, they're gone. Hulk and Black Widow, they just threw that off like it was nothing. And plus she's dead. And I guess Hawkeye, but I wouldn't count that as a relationship with anyone. Because, he was already married, so I wouldn't really count that because we haven't really gotten to know his wife, I guess. But it was a really nice relationship, and I hope they keep it in the next movies. Yeah. This had a lot of great action scenes, I would say, and it had a lot of Spider-Man physics going to it. I love, a lot what Spider-Man does in this film. It's great. It's great. Spider-Man is a really good superhero. When Spider-Man needs to get serious and just beat the living crap out of things, he will. Spider-Man will go to town. And I love that. I love it. Spider-Man is just not some immature kid. He is really skilled at fighting. I feel like this movie really gets what Spider-Man is, and dealing with all that responsibility, that stupid line, with great power creates great responsibility, and they really do show that. In the first movie, sort of not really, because, everything was given to Spider-Man, basically. You get that suit. I mean, sure, he did all that superhero stuff at the beginning. But, in this one, you really get to see that, what he has to deal with. He has to deal with a normal life. He also has to deal with being a superhero. And he's trying to figure out how to balance that out. And, that's really relatable because, a lot of people have a lot of different stuff to do in their lives. Like I do. I try to find a balance between work and videos. And it's kind of cool to see that, that superheroes still have problems as well. That makes Peter Parker really relatable. And also dealing with a death like Tony Stark's, and the fact of the matter is that his death is just shown to that boy. Tony. It's kind of funny that Tony's dead, but it feels like he's not dead because he pops up so much in this movie that it just traumatizes Peter at this point. I would say the first act of the movie feels kind of slow and boring, but once the second act picks up, oh boy, this movie just gets good. So I wouldn't say the first act's really good at all. And but the second act, the third act, boy, that was great. It was really great. Really, really great. So, yeah, that's, I guess that's really it for me, guys. So, I guess it's time to get into spoilers, because there's a lot to talk about. I really want to get down to the spoilers of this movie. So, 3, 2, 1, you've been warned. Okay, so Mysterio. Like, yes, I said he was the villain, and I like what he did with this. What they did with this. He's an actor. He's a special effects guy, just like in the comics, sort of. But they put in a little bit of a twist where, of course, Tony Stark screws over another guy, and he becomes a villain. Just like Iron Man 3, and sort of in Spider-Man Homecoming with the Vulture. So yeah, Iron Man screws over more people, even after death. And I love how, like, after the bar, he just he just becomes a completely different person. And I like that. I love the acting from Jake Gyllenhaal, as, because I saw this movie twice, so I kind of went back to see how he was acting before this, and wow, like, you could tell that he was a pretty bad actor. And I love how he's just, like, acting pretty, like, boringly, and then, like, when he becomes, you know, he's revealed to be Mysterio, like, the villain, and he was manipulating everybody, boy, does he come alive. He just, man, he really enjoys this role. And I love how they bring back that one worker from Iron Man. I bet they're like, hey, remember when this guy yelled at you in your face in Iron Man? Yeah, we want you to come back. You're a new villain. Come on back, man. I love that. And then they like, they're just showing other people's, you know, experiences in the cinematic universe. Like, you were in that movie, and you were in that movie, and you were in that movie, and now we're all villains. I love that. I love that. I love the illusion and making it seem like a TV show. Like, basically, like a performance, a movie set, basically, that was cool. And I love how he's like, and I love how he's like, yeah, we need to steam this cape. I literally could be shaking hands with the Queen. I love that, like, that sense of humor he has, and that he's human, basically. And of course, like I said, Nick Fury acting a little bit different this time. But that was for a good reason. The reason is because he is a Skrull. A Skrull, people. I was shocked. Shocked. Not any Skrull, no. It was the two Skrulls, I forget his name. It was like the main Skrull from Captain Marvel and his wife. And it was great to see them again. And just, wow. Just, I did not expect Nick Fury and okay, I forgot her name. Like, I should know her name, but I forget. Yeah, it made a lot of sense in the movie that they were Skrulls, because Nick Fury was being more of an asshole than he usually is. And, you know, I would think Nick Fury would be cautious of Mysterio in the beginning when he first met him, because Nick Fury always has a backup plan, basically. Like, even for heroes, like, if they turn, he usually has some kind of backup plan. He always does his background checks, but he did not, and he acknowledged that he didn't, and it's because he's a Skrull. So he's still kind of learning how to be Nick Fury. And it's like, so I guess this Skrull was trying to be Nick Fury, being way too much like Nick Fury. So yeah, and Nick Fury's up in space on a Skrull ship, so I guess the Skrulls are good guys now. And that just opens so much for the cinematic universe, and I'm super excited to see what happens next. And I guess they're forming, not S.H.I.E.L.D., SWORD. I guess it's called SWORD. I've heard about it in the comics. But I think that's probably what's going to happen now. So, Marvel's going to space now. I mean, we've been to space, but we're going more into space. Cool. And of course, Spider-Man's identity was revealed. Yeah. I was shocked that they did this, but I'm excited for that, because they've never really touched on this in the Marvel movies at all. And they really haven't touched this in that many comics. I know Civil War, the comic, deals with something like this, but they honestly have not dealt with, you know, Peter's identity. And honestly, Peter's the only character that's identity is a secret, really, because no one really has a secret identity at all. I guess Black Widow had one, but, you know, she revealed it a while ago in, like, Civil War, or, like, The Winter Soldier, I think. And then, you know, Ant-Man, I guess, he doesn't really have a secret identity. People know, a lot of people know he's Ant-Man. And even, like, he tries to ask those little kids in Endgame, do you want to take a picture with Ant-Man? So yeah, he doesn't really, I don't think anyone really has a secret identity in the Marvel Universe. And that's cool, because they're just everyday people. Because, I mean, well, why would Thor need identity? Because he's just Thor. So, yeah, I guess, I think that's going to be interesting. I really cannot wait to see the next Spider-Man movie. And, of course, I cannot, forget J. Jonah Jameson's return. Man, I screamed when I saw him. And not just any actor. It was the original actor from Spider-Man, the original Spider-Mans. Oh my god, I was so happy to see him back and just complaining about Spider-Man. I loved it. I was so excited to see him. And he actually has a completely different look. He's bald now, so that's interesting. I guess it's different from the other movies and also the multiverse. That'd be cool to think about. But also, I love that they brought him back. I love it that they brought him back because I couldn't think of anyone else doing that role. Plus, the Daily Planet's a little bit... The Daily Planet? Oh no, I think it's the Daily Bugle. It's a little bit changed up. It's actually .com, so he's actually doing like online videos. So that's cool, because that's kind of more modern. Because when was the last time you've seen like a newspaper company do stuff like that? Never. Thank goodness they're going with the times. But yeah, dealing with Spider-Man's identity revealed is interesting, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens with that. And Mysterio, I also talked about that scene. I mean, I talked about Mysterio a lot. But yeah, I love Spider Tingle. This Peter's Tingle, the Peter Tingle, basically Spider Sense. But okay, yeah, that's really it for me, guys. I don't really much else to say about this movie. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.